Eala grateful for support, downplays Pacquiao comparisons. Manila, Philippines. Eala said she's far from the level of boxing icon Manny Pacquiao, but she remains grateful for the unwavering support of Filipinos, both online and inside the venue. Buoyed by a Filipino-heavy crowd at Melbourne Park, Eala came out strong in her Australian Open main draw debut, sweeping the opening set before losing momentum and struggling to handle the power serves of American Alicia Parks, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6, in a first-round exit. The Filipino tennis ace has enjoyed growing national support since her dream semifinal run at the Miami Open last year, drawing comparisons to Pacquiao, who once brought the entire country to a standstill during his prime. But Eala was quick to downplay those parallels. "Oh my God, no, not at all. Manny Pacquiao is different. He's on another level," Eala said in Filipino. "I remember whenever Manny had a fight, it was like a holiday. People wouldn't go to work, the whole family would be at home, there'd be lechon, popcorn, everything. So I think I'm still a long way from that." Still, the Rafa Nadal Academy graduate hopes to continue inspiring the next generation and helping elevate Philippine tennis. More than her skills, Eala wants the world to see the Filipino fighting spirit. "What I want them to take from me, or what I want them to see in me, is someone who fights until the very end. More than my serve, how I move, or how I hit, it's really about the fight. For me, that's something you really see in Filipinos. That fighting spirit is what makes us unique," Eala said. The 20-year-old, grateful for the support she continues to receive, said she draws strength from both her love for the game and her family. "I get my fighting strength from my love for tennis. I really love the sport. I love the sound of the ball. I love those tight matches and big, important points. Tennis has taught me so much and has been a huge part of my life. That's what keeps me going along with my family," she said. Quiet fire, Eala and the grace of becoming. The applause arrives before the answer does. It swells like a tide that knows its timing better than she does, lifting her name and setting it down again with a gentleness that surprises everyone, including Eala herself. She smiles, the kind of smile that carries gratitude rather than triumph, and waits for the room to settle. There are questions in the air, but there is also something heavier, something that follows her wherever she plays. Comparisons. Expectations. Legends spoken in the same breath as her own name. She bows her head, not in surrender, but in thanks. Eala learned early that support is not a spotlight. It is a scaffolding. It stands quietly, holding weight so that something else can rise. Family mornings that begin with packed bags and end with tired laughter. Coaches who repeat the same instruction until it becomes instinct. Teammates who clap from the sidelines when the match tightens and breath shortens. A country that sends messages across oceans, sometimes in the form of flags waving on screens, sometimes in the form of whispered prayers. She feels all of it. "Thank you," she says, and the words are simple, but they land with care. Gratitude for Alex is not a performance. It is a practice. There are moments when the noise grows louder, when the comparisons come marching in with confident footsteps. Manny Pacquiao. A name that belongs to stadiums and history books, to a generation raised on the rhythm of jabs and the certainty of courage. The Philippines knows how to make heroes, and it knows how to recognize hunger when it sees it. The urge to connect Alex to that lineage is understandable. It is also something she gently sets aside. "I'm just Alex," she says, almost apologetically, as if afraid of disappointing the idea rather than the people. "I'm still learning." Downplaying comparisons is not denial. It is discernment. Alex understands that greatness borrowed is greatness diluted. She knows that a path walked in someone else's footprints may be easier to follow, but it will never fully belong to her. Tennis asks for solitude in a way that few sports do. The court is a rectangle of truth, bordered by lines that do not move for anyone. Inside it, there is no past legend to lean on, no borrowed strength to call upon. Only preparation, breath, and belief. She has those. Alex's gratitude shows up in the small things. In how she thanks ball kids by name when she can. In how she acknowledges opponents, win or lose, with eye contact and respect. in how she speaks of losses not as failures but as notes written in the margins of her journey. She is aware that support can turn into pressure if mishandled, and she treats it carefully, like a gift that must be opened slowly. There is a quiet discipline to the way she speaks about herself. She does not reject ambition, but she refuses to inflate it. She talks about process, about showing up, about trusting the work. When asked about carrying a nation's hopes, she nods, then reframes it. I carry encouragement, she says, not expectations. The difference matters. Somewhere between practice sessions and press conferences, Alex returns to the reason she started. The feel of the racket in her hand. The sound of the ball meeting strings cleanly. The joy of solving a point, of thinking 2 shots ahead and watching the plan unfold. These are private satisfactions, untouched by comparison. They are hers alone. The Pacquiao comparisons linger at the edges of conversations, but Alex does not wrestle them to the ground. She lets them pass. Legends are not templates, she believes. They are proof. Proof that excellence can come from home soil. Proof that belief can be shared. Proof that a child watching from afar can someday stand under bright lights and remain herself. In that sense, Manny Pacquiao is not a shadow. He is a horizon. Alex's gratitude extends beyond applause. It reaches backward to the sacrifices made long before headlines noticed her name. It reaches outward to young players who see in her a possibility. She knows that someone, somewhere, is waking up early to practice because they saw her fight for a point that seemed lost. That knowledge humbles her more than praise ever could. She speaks often about balance, about staying grounded, about remembering that a career is a long conversation, not a single statement. Each tournament is a paragraph, not the whole story. Comparisons try to turn her into a conclusion before she has finished her introduction. She resists by staying present. On the court, her intensity answers for her. Off it, her words are measured, thoughtful. Gratitude without grandstanding. Confidence without bravado. When she thanks her supporters, it is not a closing remark. It is an opening. An invitation to walk with her, not ahead of her, not behind her. There will be time, perhaps, for history to decide what Alex Eala becomes. For now, she is content with who she is. A player in motion. A student of the game. A young woman aware of the love surrounding her and careful not to let it weigh her down. She lifts her racket again, not as a symbol but as a tool. The court waits, impartial and patient. Comparisons fade at the baseline. Gratitude remains. And Alex steps forward, into her own name, carrying support lightly, carrying ambition honestly, and carrying the quiet fire of becoming exactly who she is meant to be.